Hey everybody, it's Sam Jacobs. Welcome back to the Sales Hacker Podcast. Welcome to Friday Fundamentals. We've got this week's guest on the show, Zvi Guterman, who is the founder and CEO of CloudShare. CloudShare is this amazing company that allows you to deploy demo environments and POC environments very quickly and on demand. It's a profitable business. Zvi owns, or at least the employees own, 100% of it. He bought out the shareholders, so that was an amazing story. And we're back on the show to talk about if you are an early stage company, very early stage company, and you're thinking about making your first few sales hires, how you should go about making those initial investments in sales and ultimately scaling up the team. So that's what we're going to talk about. Now, before we get there, we want to thank our sponsor. Friday Fundamentals is brought to you by Outreach. Outreach triples the productivity of sales teams and empowers them to drive predictable and measurable revenue growth. By prioritizing the right activities and scaling customer engagement with intelligent automation, Outreach makes customer-facing teams more effective and improves visibility into what really drives results. So check out Outreach if you are one of the few people on earth that have not done so already. And now we bring the microphone back to Zvi. Zvi, you are a serial entrepreneur. You've been running CloudShare for 10 years. Back in the early days, and when you're advising young entrepreneurs and they are thinking about the earliest stages of go-to-market, what are the pieces of advice you give them in terms of those initial investments into sales hires and go-to-market investments? What is the advice?
Sure. So the first thing I would say is when you think about your first hires is that these are not necessarily traditional salespeople. You need to find people that will do well in an early stage, meaning things are not built, there's not enough collateral, the product is still early, the pricing is early, and you need a person that can actually help you navigate between what you bring to the market and customer needs. So ideally, your ideal candidate, your first hire, will be someone that can still speak the sales language, make sure that they understand customers, see their pain, able to take it and translate into the company and say, okay, here's what the customer is saying, here's the real feedback of what we bring, and try to bridge between the product that we bring to the market and the customer. And these are non-easy hires. I would really recommend spending a lot of time on these first hires. It's not necessarily a hunter that did very well in a large company. It's someone that would be smart, maybe non-traditional, and you should really focus on that hiring. So that's, I think, one recommendation. The second, which I think sometimes I see entrepreneurs make the mistake, is make sure that you are in front of the customer. In early stage, we don't want someone between the company and the customer. So usually channel is bad because we want to make sure that we get the true feedback from the customer. What's the real pain? And even if you have a wonderful channel, you at this early stage, you want to be there in these dialogues. So you meant to try to avoid having a channel at that stage. And the third is probably also very important and relevant, is also to try and focus who are your early adopters, right? You may find yourself putting a lot of energy in the wrong group, and you need to find customers. If we're talking about B2B, sometimes these are significant deals, that the right companies that will take this brave, huge step and work with you as an unknown company, unknown entity with some interesting price, with the product that's still lacking some functionality, because the pain is big enough, because they are at their culture is healthy and able to take and adopt early stage products.
That is some good advice. So recapping, your first hire is a non-traditional sales hire. I might add that this person might ultimately end up in a totally different department if they stay with the company, maybe in product, maybe in marketing, but oftentimes these do not look like the traditional sales profile. The second piece of advice is don't put any barriers between you and the customer because you need that feedback. So you've got to get out there and be talking to customers and create that feedback loop. And similar to what you said earlier in the week, it's not enough just to build a great product. And then the third is that, what is the third? I forget the third. What was the third thing you just said?
Also focus on the right group of
Oh,
customers.
right. Find the early adopters. Find the early
And
adopters.
the early adopters, which is not as trivial as we all think. It's maybe a sub-segment of your market that is more open, that will make the decision. An entrepreneur, we many times think about the huge opportunity, maybe the more glorious customers, and many times these will not be your first customers,
Right.
as we often know.
That's exactly what it's. You have to disqualify the bright shiny logo and find the people that are actually going to champion your product.
Exactly.
See, we've got folks that are listening that want to reach out to you. Maybe some of them are in Tel Aviv and they want to know, how do I enter the US and how do I develop my presence in the United States? Maybe they're just customers. Maybe they want to work for CloudShare. How would you like us to get in touch with you? Remind us one last time.
Sure. LinkedIn is the best option. Just approach me on my LinkedIn profile. It's Zvi Guterman, ZVI, Guterman, Guterman, at CloudShare. And do mention the podcast, so I'll have an association for where you reached me, and would love to hear from you.
Wonderful. Zvi, thanks for being on the show. If folks want to reach out to me, you can. LinkedIn's the best way, linkedin.com/in/Sam F. Jacobs. And I'll talk to you next time. Thanks, Zvi.
Thank you, Sam.